It's going to be a good long time.
Okay, Lieutenant, let's start off with your full name and position, please.
Eddie, E-D-D-I-E, Hernandez, H-E-R-N-A-N-D-E-Z, Sheriff's Homicide Lieutenant.
Let's start from the top. What happened?
Okay, shortly after 4 o'clock this afternoon, Cerritos Station received a call that there was a female knocking on doors asking for people inside a residence that didn't live there. One of the residents found that suspicious, called Cerritos, gave a description of the female, and also gave a description of the vehicle she was last seen getting into. A deputy responded. He found the vehicle 1 street north, one street south of where the original call was. And as he drove down the street, which is a cul-de-sac, he contacted the female black and recognized that the vehicle described in the call was also parked right next to her. So he approached the vehicle, initially didn't see anybody. As he got closer to the vehicle, he saw that the driver was kind of reclined and apparently looking like he was trying to conceal himself from the deputy. As the deputy approached a little closer, he saw that the driver kind of fumbling around in his pocket in the waist area. He then heard the vehicle turn on. The engine started to rev. The deputy gave several commands for the driver to show his hands and cooperate. The suspect then accelerated away from the curb without warning, striking the deputy. Fearing for his safety, the deputy fired at the suspect. The suspect continued driving west on Palm and then south on Pires. We believe at this point that there was another deputy who actually was behind the vehicle as he fled, and the suspect collided against a fire hydrant and an electrical pole where he came to rest. Once he collided with that fire hydrant, it actually exploded and a lot of water gushed out. Electrical wires were also exposed. Fire department rendered that area safe, then rendered aid to the individual, and he was pronounced dead at the scene.
Tell us, why were they knocking on doors? I mean, do we know if it was a robbery attempt or is it just a lost couple?
Well, I think it's indicative of a lot of times they try to see if there's anybody home, to see if there's something, a residence they may want to burglarize or case for a burglary. It could be that they were lost. We don't know, but we do know that they're in an area that they don't live, and the resident felt that approach of knocking on the door and asking for somebody who doesn't live there was suspicious.
So at this time, you're not ready to say if it was a robbery attempt or if they were just lost?
We're not. We haven't ruled any of that out yet.
How many times were shots fired?
Deputy fired twice.
And so importantly here, the issue is the deputy is hit by the vehicle. So that's the assault with a deadly weapon.
Correct.
Right. So
Correct. The deputy was struck with the vehicle, fearing for his safety. He then fired at the suspect.
opens fire twice.
Yes.
Was the deputy injured?
Yes, he was injured. He was taken to a local hospital, treated for injuries to his left side. He complained of pain in the left side of his body. Has been treated and released.
How much time elapsed when the water and the wires came down before the paramedics could treat the man in the car?
Don't know. Would have to talk to the fire department about that to see how long it took them to respond, render that area safe, and then render aid to the person inside the car.
Could he have been alive at the time of the impact?
That's speculation. I don't know.
Usually people work in groups. Do we know if anybody else is outstanding or if this African-American lady was at the door by herself?
They do work in groups. At this point, we believe that everybody that is involved in this incident, we have located.
And what is she? Was she in custody right now?
She's being detained for questioning because she obviously was involved in the initial suspicious call, and then also we believe witnessed the shooting.
Have you found a weapon in the suspect vehicle?
We haven't searched the car, but the deputy never reported seeing a weapon.
You stated that there was movement in the vehicle that possibly looked like he was going to brandish some sort of weapon.
No, the deputy reported that he saw the suspect fumbling around his waistband and his pocket area, and then heard the vehicle ignition go on, heard the revving, and then that's when the suspect accelerated away, struck the deputy. At this point, the deputy did not report seeing a weapon
Okay.
and fired because he was struck by a vehicle.
Is the woman related to the man who passed away?
We don't know.
Okay.
We don't know because we haven't identified him yet.
Okay.
And the
Tell us about-
deceased is still in there, right?
I'm sorry, ma'am?
The deceased is still in the car.
He's still in the car. We're processing the scene and waiting for the coroner's office
How
to
long do you
respond.
think he'll be out here?
We don't know.
Hours.
Yeah, several hours before we collect all the pieces of evidence we need to collect.
I don't know if I missed this, but did any of the neighbors report seeing that man, or did they just see that woman?
The initial call only reported her, but then they did report seeing the vehicle, provided a license plate. Nobody reported seeing with the description of the driver.
So was she in that vehicle at some point?
She was seen getting into that car, and then the deputy, when he contacted her, she was outside the vehicle, near the vehicle.
Any other calls of suspicious circumstances in the area besides this one today?
This one that we know of, and we'll have to investigate how many similar calls in the area or in the neighboring cities are being reported.
And again, Lieutenant, you're not saying that what they were doing exactly, but it's something that people do sometimes. Burglaries is to door knock people. Right?
Yes, they want a door knock to see if somebody's home. Then they log a time that they came by. They also use that opportunity to maybe look inside the residence. They do basically, they scout and they case the area to see or the location to see if that's somewhere they want to burglarize. But then again, they could have been lost. We don't know yet. Not at this point until we interview her and see if we can actually tie her to any criminal activity. Now, that being said, the resident felt that it was suspicious, and that's why that person called.
And again, what is her status, the young lady?
She's been detained for questioning, for one, to determine what she saw as far as the shooting, and then two, to see if she was involved in any criminal activity.
Thank
You're not
you.
charging her with anything.
Thank you.
Not at this point.
Thank you so much, Elsie.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
I needed that.
Good?